Perfect.
All right, round two, here we go. But welcome to Pro Power Hour. My name's Chris Weldon. I'm one of the community managers here with Housecall Pro. Sorry we're a little late, y'all. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we're up and going. This is a new series that we've been doing the last 3 weeks. It's our fourth week now. Pro Power Hour is really just supposed to be an opportunity for you to come every single week and learn about a feature that's here at Housecall Pro. We've seen a lot of new members join our Facebook group over the last few months. There's always feedback that you guys want more training resources. And really, this is kind of something for everybody. If you're a new pro, you can learn about a feature every single week. Maybe it's something new you haven't adopted yet. Or if you're an OG pro, if you've been with us for a long time, maybe you need a refresher. Maybe you've been interested in something, but just haven't had time to sit down and learn about it. I encourage you to just come, show up here, and bring your questions too. Maybe you just have one or two questions you want to ask. We'll have opportunities for those as the live stream goes on. And if you're here, let me know. Say hey, say hi. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Um, and if you have any questions along the way, Lauren's in the thread, and I'll be stopping along the way to ask our specialist who's joining us. I did want to recap too the last 3 weeks. We started with service plans. We talked about voice, and then last week we talked about job costing. Today we're covering the multi options, multi-day approvals, and then multi-day appointments and multi-option approvals. It's a mouthful. But before we get into everything, Madison, I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself, and then we'll get going.
Awesome. My name is Madison Pisano. I'm a key accounts onboarding specialist here at Housecall Pro. So I work with our new pros who are joining and get them up and running in the software over a course of onboarding meetings. So I'm super excited to be joining today's session and training you guys on some features and then also demoing how to use them in my test account.
Awesome. Yeah, Madison, thank you. Phil's been here the last 3 weeks. We'll have different specialists coming in and out. You might recognize them. Maybe they helped you when you guys were starting your accounts. Um, yeah, we're just grateful for your partnership on this. So I think we can get right into it, Madison, if you want to start the
Okay,
slide deck.
perfect. I'll go ahead and share my Zoom here, share my screen. Okay, so can you guys see that? You can see that okay, Chris?
Yeah, looks good.
Perfect. So multi-day appointments and multi-option approvals are what we're going to be going over today. So I'll go over each one of those features, how you can use them, whether that be on the web portal or the mobile app. And then we'll go through demoing the feature within my test account, and then we'll be happy to take questions as well and do some answering at the end of our session. So first we'll start with multi-day appointments. So currently this has been released to all pros in an opt-in beta phase. So if you've opted into the beta testing, you should have this on your account, or if you're a relatively new pro, it may have been added to your account when you signed up automatically. You have the ability to turn the appointments features on and off. This is going to be in your settings under the job settings. So it's just a little toggle here. You can see where you can switch that on. If you're doing any jobs where they require multiple visits, whether that be multiple visits in one day or over the course of a few days or weeks or even months. So if you turn that on, any job you'll be able to create appointments now. And then what's really important here is with the mobile app on this feature, if you have any employees who maybe their mobile app's a little out of date or their phone doesn't update apps automatically, you'll get this little yellow pop-up bar where you can send them an update link so that they need to be on one of the more recent updates of the app so that this feature works for them. Okay, so when it comes to using the multi-day appointments app, we have some screenshots of what's going to look a little different on the web portal. So instead of this first blue circle here saying schedule, now it's going to say add appointment instead when you go to schedule any job. So you're going to schedule your jobs through that add appointment button. And then when you have a job where you need to add multiple appointments to it, maybe you need to make a return visit because you didn't have the part you needed, or it's an install that's lasting multiple days, you're gonna see this white tile that says appointments, and then you're gonna have a blue add appointment button on the right-hand side. So what's really great when it comes to scheduling out your multi-day appointment jobs is that each job is scheduled out with its own scheduling. So say day one, you have to have 3 employees at the job site. You can dispatch 3 different employees to that. And then maybe on the second day, you only need to have 1 employee there doing the work. So you just assign one. So each job you can schedule for different times of day and with different employees on each job. And then similarly to segments, each appointment will create a separate tile on your calendar so that you can see, what days you have work for that job. And then the job is all located within that one job number and everything in one place within your Housecall Pro account. And then when it comes to some screenshots of what you're going to be looking at when you have a multi-day job on the mobile app. So with the On My Way functionality, only one notification is going to go out for each appointment. So when time tracking on jobs is enabled, the On My Way notification, if it's sent by one employee, it's not going to get sent for another employee assigned to the job. So you can see on the screenshot on the left here that the employee will see if the customer notification already went out, maybe if somebody else on their team is already on the way to the job site. So you're not sending the customer multiple notifications if that's not needed. And then when it comes to the app, um, we'll go over some other pieces that are important to note with time tracking on the app on the next slide as well. Okay, perfect. So when it comes to pipeline for the multi-day appointment feature, so all the appointments, as I mentioned, for each job with multiple appointments are going to be located within that one job. So there's only going to be one job tile or on the card within pipeline, and then if you click into it, it will open for you what appointments are associated with that job. So they'll all travel throughout your pipeline boards together, if that makes sense. With time tracking, so one feature that's important to note here with time tracking for your employees is we all know those start finish job buttons are super important within the mobile app for your employees, but if you're using multi-day appointments, you're not going to want to have your employees marking the job as finished until the job is completed in totality. So if it's day 2 of 3, you don't want somebody going in there and marking the job as finished because it's not really finished yet. So in those types of scenarios, it's really important that they only hit pause my time if the job's not totally done. And then on the final day, whoever completes the work on the last day of the job would mark it as finished, and that's going to send out those triggers that go out when the job is marked as finished in the system. Yeah, and then we have some resources here that we'll send out when it comes to multi-day appointments as well. And then before we jump into the settings for estimates, are there any questions in the chat, Chris?
I'm looking right now. I don't see any questions. I see Lauren did just drop a bunch of names in here, just tagged in some folks who've had questions over the last few months. So hopefully
Okay,
we'll see some soon.
perfect.
And I did just drop those help center resources as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, great. So now we'll go over the multi-option estimate functionality here. So when it comes to setting up the multi-option estimate, so this is going to be done through the web portal through your account settings. So when you go into your estimate settings, in that left-hand column, you're gonna go into the section that says estimate defaults. And then from there, you have your, default expiration date and then your approving options. So when you hit that pencil here, before we only had the option for a customer to approve one option, but now you can toggle it to multiple options if needed. So if you're doing like a multi-option estimate, excuse me, if you don't want all the options the customer to be able to approve, say, fix my sink, fix my toilet, and then don't fix the other thing, they can approve two of those and then decline the other one. Whereas before, if they approved one, it would auto decline any of the other options on the estimate. So what's important here is that you're setting up your settings on the web portal how you want them, and then this is going to carry over onto the mobile app for you. So normally, if you're doing your estimates a certain way, you would have it like one way or the other. And then when it comes to changing it, if it is a quote where you need to change it to one option or multiple options, you can switch it within the estimate on the web portal. However, this functionality is not on the mobile app at this point in time. So if you do need to change it, you can do it from the web. Any questions on multi-option approvals, Chris?
I'm looking, but I don't see any right now.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. A couple other FAQs we'll touch on. Yes, you can approve options for your estimates no matter what approval settings are in place. So you can go in and pro approve something if you got like a verbal approval from a customer, in either scenario, how you have your estimate setting default set. Can I change the approval settings for an estimate anytime I want? You can't change them for an estimate if it's set to multiple options and the customer has already approved, like say two of the three options. You can't go back in and change it to one option at that point. But if the customer hasn't approved anything yet, you would be able to go in and change that setting. Can I use the multi-option approval feature on my phone? So you can't change the setting on the mobile phone, but however you set them on the web, it will apply to any estimates that are done through the mobile app. So if you set it to customer can approve multiple options and you send a multi-option estimate from your phone, they will have that option to approve multiple. And then with sales proposal tool, if you're using sales proposal tool on estimate, those same settings are going to apply as well. But it needs to be the new version of the sales proposal tool, not with the older version.
Yeah, I was just about to call that out. I'm going to drop the help article as well. If you're still on the older sales proposal tool, I'm going to drop the 2.0 article on how to get started.
Awesome. Yeah, that is going to be something else that needs a mobile app update if you're on an older version of the mobile app too. Okay, cool. I'll check one more time. Any questions before I pull up my demo account?
I don't see any, but Jen, it's good to see you. Deborah, good to see you as well. We do got a couple folks with us, but
Awesome.
no questions
Okay,
yet.
cool. Let's get out of here. Okay, perfect. So I am in an estimate here. Since we are already here, I will go ahead and start with that multiple option estimate. So I already have my settings here in this tile as customer can approve multiple options. So let's go ahead and add another option to this estimate. Let's just make an option 2. Perfect. Okay, so when you go to send the options to, or send the estimate to the customer and you hit view and send, you can pull in your two options here and then send them both. So they're going to get both options and then both of them in the email that they get will have an approve button next to them. So if they want both pieces of work done or both types of work done, they could approve both of them versus a one or the other type of scenario. So it just really depends on your industry and kind of what work you're doing and how you're doing your quotes now. Now let's go over to my schedule and we'll do a job with multi-day appointments. Actually, before that, we'll go into my settings and make sure I have multi-day appointments enabled so you can see where that is. So on the left-hand side under jobs, you'll have this button that says appointments here, and then just make sure this is toggled on if it's a feature you want to use. Okay, now we'll go back over to my schedule and we will go into we'll make a new job here. Okay. Okay, we will do it for a fake customer here. And we will just pull in something I have in my favorites from my price book. And now you'll see, so if you turn on the multi-day appointments feature, this button right here, if you don't have it turned on, it says schedule, or before it always used to say schedule. Now it says add appointment. So I made one appointment, but if I need to add more appointments, I can do that through this appointment button here. So let's say I need to do a return visit for this job tomorrow. And maybe I need to add somebody else to the job. I need to bring a second person because of the amount of work I ran into today. So now I can add another employee to the job, and you can see here on this preview of what the schedule is going to look like that it makes a new tile for another appointment on your schedule. And now you have both appointments for the job scheduled, and I've seen people with 20 appointments here for like a big project they have going on, so you can definitely add to these. And then if you need to change one of the appointments, you have this option to edit the appointments as well. Any don't see any questions. I have it on my phone here. Chris, any questions that you can see?
I don't see any, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Let me go over to my settings and show where the estimate defaults are. So the estimate defaults are going to be under that estimates dropdown. And then here, the approving options. Only one option, if you haven't gone in, is probably what it's set to. So you can change it to multiple options if that's something that's going to be valuable for you in your business. Okay. And then what I will go ahead and do is I can, oops, hold on, resume. I'm going to share my iPhone screen now.
Awesome. Just a reminder too, if there's anybody watching the recording, I still encourage you, drop your questions. Lauren, myself, will answer those, or we'll get them over to Madison or someone on the product team to make sure we get you the right answer. So yeah, if you're catching this later, feel
Okay,
free to stay engaged.
cool. Sometimes my Airstream times out the app. I got a new phone and I need another cord for my computer. Of course, iPhone changes up all the charging and connecting cords that you need.
Right.
I didn't know that, or else I wouldn't have got the phone. Okay, cool. So as we were saying before, so that recurring clean job that we see here for today for Bobby Christopher, I have it on the schedule for today, but I added the secondary appointment for tomorrow on the schedule for me and my other employee there. So you see it twice. And then let's say I clicked into the job, the appointment for tomorrow, but you can see where it says view all. You can see from here what appointments are on the job. Oh, it's not loading my little circle for my initials there for some reason. And then if you need to change anything as far as the schedule, of course, I have admin access on my account, so it depends on your employees' permissions. But if you're at the customer's house and they ask you to change the time, you can go into that pencil and change the time of the appointments, or you can add, well, maybe you didn't have the parts you needed and you need to come back for a third visit, schedule out as many appointments as you need from the mobile app. Cool. Let's see. Awesome. So we add another appointment. Got my push notification for my new job on my watch here. Awesome. So that is the multi-day appointments on the mobile app. And then for the estimates, so you can see here for the multi-option estimate, you see both of the options on my schedule for today at 10 a.m. So if we click into one, you'll see the option 1 and option 2. So this is where we were mentioning when you go to send the estimate to the customer, it's going to default to whatever settings you set up on the computer. But same thing, when you go to send it, you're going to go into that wrench. If you want to send both options to the customer from the mobile app, and then when you click send, they'll have the option to approve either both or one or the other. Okay, perfect.
Sweet.
If I went through that a little fast, anyone let me know if you have any questions
I
or
did
want me
see
to demo anything else.
Yeah, I did see one from Deborah.
Okay.
Going back, it's a good question. Going back to multi-day appointments.
Mm-hmm.
She was asking, can you copy information from the previous appointment? Good clarifying question here.
Yeah, so as far as copying information, so the line items and the description and everything else out like on the job is the same for each appointment. So it's really just the scheduling functionality that you're adding another appointment. So what I would recommend if there's like notes that you want to make sure somebody sees when they're going back for another appointment, you could put those in the private notes section as like a secondary note so that they're at the kind of top of the feed, if that makes sense, on when the technician's looking at their notes.
Yeah, think of it just as like a calendar option. Same
Yeah.
job, one invoice, multiple appointments. Awesome. I'm giving it a second just to see if there's any other questions. Shauna, I saw you just popped in here. If you have any questions later, let us know. We'll be monitoring the thread. And pros too, if there's anything you want to learn about in the coming weeks, if there's any features that you're curious about, let me know, let Lauren know. We're open to your feedback and your suggestions. Deborah, glad you got that. Thanks. Um, and then next week we'll be talking about reporting, and then we'll have the 4th of July, and in 2 weeks we'll be talking about invoices. So mark your calendars. We've got the next couple of topics picked out. Other than that, I don't see any other questions, so I think we can wrap up.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Madison. Hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Yeah, thanks for
Um,
having me.
yeah. Take care. Pros, again, if you have any questions, we'll be monitoring the thread, and we'll catch you guys later. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.